It's about the freedom and the fulfillment that comes with that money, that allows us to lead a life that is the real luxury to ourselves. It's not about fancy cars and big houses. It's about the simple life and the aligned, soul-driven life that has become expensive because we are living in a society where we're in this hamster wheel and where we are working our asses off to stay in the hamster wheel. So the real luxury is to escape from all of that and lead a peaceful, simple life at our own terms. That is what we want to do with that money, and that is what has become expensive. Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome back to a brand new episode of Rooted in the Cosmos. I'm Isabel Gloria, and I'm your host today. As I'm recording this, I'm battling a really annoying ear infection, so I might sound a little bit nasal today, but I wanted to record this episode for you. So excuse the nasal voice if that's the case. It's just my ear acting up, and I'm sitting here with like a huge blanket and a heating pack on my ear. So just so that you get an impression of the working circumstances today. Today's episode is meant to be one big reminder for you as a light worker, as a conscious soul and conscious person on this earth. Because I truly, truly, truly believe that so many people and so many conscious souls came here to fulfill their mission. That's all I'm talking about in my content on social media, in my work. And not all of them are seeing their potential. Not all of them are really stepping into their highest expression. And they are not leading the best life that they could lead, not just for themselves, but also for the collective and in terms of impacting those around them. So if you feel like you're not fully living your potential, you're not fully stepping into your mission and into a path that you want to be on, let this entire episode be a reminder to really allow yourself to do that and to empower yourself and to start doing bold things. That being said, I understand that there's a lot of resistance coming in once you start stepping into your purpose or once you want to start doing it. So what I often hear from my clients is that they decide that they want to step into their mission. They start a business and they are so motivated. They get everything going. They are excited to have their first offer. They're excited to grow their social media channels, to share their message. They're really, really, really hyped and motivated and activated by that. And then the bumps start coming in and nothing seems to work out. They struggle getting clients. They struggle with things like technical stuff, programs, taxes, like all the legal stuff that's connected to a business. And all these things are like bumps on the road, and it's creating resistance within them. And what I see in a lot of people, obviously not my clients, otherwise we wouldn't be working together, but what I see in a lot of spiritual entrepreneurs who start out a business or who want to pursue becoming a coach or a guide or anything like that, they are starting out really motivated, really hyped up, but as soon as there's any bump in the road, they are resisting this initiation of evolving into their next version. And this is something we cannot do as conscious leaders. So we have to take on the initiations, no matter what the initiation is. The initiation can be to not have clients right away if we start a business. The initiation can be to struggle with the technical side of things and not knowing how to actually bring your content out into the world in like a technical way. Where do I host my coaching programs? How do I manage my invoices? Like stuff like that. But the initiation can also be, oh my God, I have to actually show myself, present a message to the outside world and stand behind it. So there's so much going on, and it's a very personal thing of what we resist. But there's a lot of resistance happening, especially in the beginning of starting a business, or which is also the case sometimes once you scale. So once you're actually in the position of your business making money and you being seen, the fear comes up of, oh my God, I'm actually being seen, like this is actually working out. And sometimes people get scared and they stop their momentum and they go back into hiding because it feels like such a huge initiation and such a huge thing. And I never want you to feel like you cannot move through these initiations. Just because there's a few bumps in the road, and they will come, it doesn't mean that your business is not going to take off. It doesn't mean that you cannot overcome whatever is in your way. If the calling is truly coming from within, if the reason is big enough for you to move through all of these challenges, fulfilling your divine mission, which basically is your business or your path that you're on, is always, always, always a soul initiation. So the resistance and the fear you feel towards stepping into your power is actually necessary to grow into that person who conquers that fear, to grow into that person who can lead a business on this next level. And if it was that easy to take risks, to show yourself, to speak your truth, to share your message, and follow your calling, basically, you wouldn't grow in the process of it. If it all was easy, if it all was completely without any resistance, it wouldn't be something that makes you grow. It wouldn't be something that makes you look back after 1 year of being on this path and thinking, wow, I was such a baby back then because I've grown so much from this. And this is what the soul wants. You want to grow on a soul level, and you want to keep growing, because that reflects for your clients, for your audience, for everyone around you, how powerful they can become once they step into their truth. So you are meant to feel resistance. You are meant to be scared of your dreams. There's this stupid saying which goes, if your dreams don't scare you, they are not big enough. But there's some truth to that. You're always meant to step up and evolve. And only the version of you who feels the fear, who feels the resistance, and does it anyway, is evolved enough to use her fullest potential. So if you step back, you're not there yet. You have to grow into the person who conquers everything that's in front of them and still keeps going, still keeps empowering herself. And that is when you will be rewarded. So that means the first reminder of today is to understand your resistance. Whenever there's something coming up, think about what I've just said. You are meant to be initiated into these higher positions of self. The resistance is not a bad thing. It's an initiation. And most likely, whenever a bump is in the road, it means that you are leveling up. That's something I've seen in my personal life all the time. That's something I see in my clients all the time. If there's a low, if there's a dip where we feel like we're not as powerful, not as empowered as we want to be, there's always following a high afterwards, as long as you keep moving through that low. It's like a rule. It's always ups and downs, but the lower the low, the higher the high will be. The next reminder, which really helps you to overcome the resistance, is that your wisdom is inherent. You don't need to learn what you want to teach. You don't need to practice it. You don't need to have a certificate for it. Of course, the more you work in your field, the more you express what you want to share, and the more you work with other people, the better you become, and the better of a coach and mentor you become. But the inherent core of why you want to do this is already there. If you feel a powerful calling to pursue your mission, it's a sign that you are ready. Otherwise, you wouldn't feel called to share your message, to step onto that path. And even if you're unsure about the specifics of your mission or what you're meant to do, you're still ready. You are ready in the sense of, okay, you are ready to take action now. You are ready to get messy and figure out where this is going. You have to remember that your soul did not come here unprepared. If you feel that strong calling of pursuing a certain path, that is a soul choice. That is not just a human desire. It is literally your soul guiding you into the right direction. And sometimes taking action means that you go into a different path than the path that you will eventually be on. But it does not mean that you're doing something wrong or that you're missing out on following your calling. Whatever is guiding you from within, whatever you're guided to do, is what you're meant to do. So sometimes you need a little detour to get onto your path because you need something else before that. You need to learn something on that little other path. So even if you don't know what your mission is, what exactly you want to do, the feeling is enough. This feeling of, okay, I want to do something. There's something else out there for me. And I have a rough idea of what this could look like, but I'm not sure if that's actually what I want to do. Still do it. Follow your intuition. Your soul did not come here without any plans, without any guidance that you are receiving. The real challenge is to trust your intuition and take messy action. That is something people are really scared of because we want to be perfect from the get-go. We want to be in the clear from the get-go. But sometimes being in a messy situation, being in chaos, is needed to create order, to create clarity and direction. So allow yourself to be in this mess and think outside of all norms. That is the real challenge. You really have to remove yourself from the norm, from the normal mindset, from the normal path, from the things that other people do, from how you should be doing things according to society. You really have to remove yourself from all of this because only then you will lead an extraordinary life and go an extraordinary path. Because if it was normal, if it was inside of the norm, it wouldn't be such a huge thing to do and it wouldn't create such resistance. You cannot have both. You cannot play by the rules of being normal and doing everything in a way that you should be doing it and at the same time create this entirely new path for yourself. You really have to choose what feels right for you and what feels aligned for you without getting distracted in the shoulds. Because outside of all norms, if you're getting creative with your path, with your business, with what you want to do with your life, this is where the magic happens. This is where you will remember what you're meant to do and create a path of freedom and fulfillment for yourself. And that's what we eventually all want. We want to have freedom. We want to have fulfillment. So even though in the coaching industry, we often talk about money mindset and making money, making a lot of money, and there's absolutely no shame attached to that. It shouldn't be. But it's not actually about that, right? It's about the freedom and the fulfillment that comes with that money that allows us to lead a life that is the real luxury to ourselves. It's not about fancy cars and big houses. It's about the simple life and the aligned, soul-driven life that has become expensive because we are living in a society where we're in this hamster wheel and where we are working our asses off to stay in the hamster wheel. So the real luxury is to escape from all of that and lead a peaceful, simple life at our own terms. That is what we want to do with that money. And that is what has become expensive. The simple living, the simple, peaceful life, that has become expensive. And as a conscious soul, you most likely want that in some type of way, in your own version. The third reminder I want to give you today is that you are not alone. You are just a pioneer. What I also see in a lot of aspiring coaches, aspiring spiritual leaders, you don't even have to be a coach. You just have to feel like you're meant to do something bigger here. And I see a lot of feeling alone, feeling lonely, a sense of not belonging in those people. And I totally understand that. And I sometimes have these feelings too. We may feel like we're the only one who cannot fit in. We're the only one who always longs for something more, for something greater, for something bigger, while all other people seem to be pretty okay with what they have and with how they lead their lives. I mean, there are some ups and downs as well, but the majority of people is not the type of person who will think outside of the box. So rest assured that you are not the only one. I meet so many light workers on my path, on the path I've created for myself, and I have external proof that there are so many people out there who have the same mindset, who have the same creativity when it comes to creating a life that they love. And it's so, so many people. And if you do not have that external proof yet, trust me, they are here. Many people dream of a different life, a different reality, but only a small percentage are brave enough and spiritually equipped to be the pioneers for this change. And that is also why you're feeling this calling. You are one of the pioneers. You are spiritually equipped, emotionally equipped, and powerful enough and strong enough to conquer the challenges that come with this path. Even though you are the main character in your business, in your life, it's not just about you. If you hear a calling, you have to lead as an example and pave the way for others to follow. It's like being a pioneer and showing what's possible to others because you came here to be the first one to do that. Not the completely first one, but one of the first ones to do that. And the reason why it feels so hard to create this alternative lifestyle, to create a spiritual business, and all these desires you may have, is because not many have done it before us. The coaching industry, the spiritual industry, this whole thing popped up a few years ago. And that is no coincidence because we're living in the age of Aquarius, where technology is rising, but also consciousness is rising. So many, many souls incarnated at this exact time to use this rise in technology and to use the internet and social media, as silly as that sounds, to use all of that to share their message and to be the pioneer, to create a visual proof and like a manifested proof of what is possible for other people once they step into their power. And you are one of them. You are one of the pioneers. So you're not alone, you're just a pioneer. The next reminder is really close to my heart because I was born, that sounds so stupid, but I was born not giving a fuck. So I pretty much do not care what other people think of me. They can think I'm completely nuts. They can think I'm completely crazy. As long as this is no one that I truly care about, I'm just like, I just think it's funny if people assume that they know me and think weird things about me. I really do not care. But I know that a lot of people care what others think, and that is completely valid. And even though I'm not struggling with that, I see how many people struggle with that, especially once they step into their spirituality and start sharing about it, start living their spirituality openly. It can feel very, very vulnerable and very daunting to show up and be powerful. Or another example would be if you are an aspiring business owner, an aspiring coach, and you go out there boldly into the world, basically saying, hey, I have something that could change your life. Do you want it? And even though you know your power, it feels so vulnerable to share that if there's no external proof of you succeeding. So there's a lot going on with what do people think about me? Worrying about what they will say and all of that. So the fourth reminder of the day is that it's not that serious, especially not what others may think of you. At the end of your life, you have to be the one to look back and feel like you've always been true to yourself and used every opportunity that has presented itself to you, and you have actively shaped the way your life turned out to be. That is what you always have to remember. You have to be the one looking back at your life, being satisfied and fulfilled, and being true to yourself. The people who laugh about you or who gossiped about you, you don't even know them anymore by then. You have to be the one looking back and having a good feeling about what you created with your life and how you used your co-creative potential. If you worry about other people's opinions or if anything external is holding you back from following your true calling, ask yourself, what matters more? their opinions or my own fulfillment? And the answer is so clear. It's so clear. The last and final reminder of the day is prompting you to visualize what could happen. So think of what could happen. Like I've just said, we are living in the age of Aquarius, where both consciousness and technology are on the rise. And that so many lightworkers are here at this time is not a coincidence. Like I just said, it's totally not. We have the opportunity to reach thousands of people every day with the push of a button. And even if it's not thousands, even if it's just 100 people, in what time was that possible for every single person on the planet having access to the internet? It's such an extraordinary time. We just think it's normal because we're so used to it. So think of what could happen if you dare to show up in your most powerful self for your mission, for your business, for the life you want to have. And just think of what could happen. It takes one piece of content to blow up, one video to be shared by the right person, one invitation to a popular podcast, or whatever it is, to change the entire course of your life. And this is not about going viral and just having random people following your stuff on social media. It is about the opportunities that social media and this age of technology are giving us. The goal is not to go viral. The goal is not to appeal to everyone. The goal is that you are reminded how extraordinary this time is. Just because it's normal for us doesn't mean it's not extraordinary. It's freaking extraordinary. We have so many opportunities, and so many people are still in the mindset of the internet not being a real workplace. While this is so untrue, if you're looking at the coaching industry, my own mentor shared a statistic with me a while ago, and he said it, like, ever since the pandemic, ever since COVID started, so from 2020 to now, it has multiplied several times. I don't know the exact numbers, but I think now it's a $15 billion business. And back then it was like $2.8 billion. Don't quote me on that, but it was a crazy number. So it's clearly a business that is growing, that is rising. But at the same time, not many people in the world are coaches. It's such a small percentage. So even though you may feel like everyone is an entrepreneur these days and everyone is a spiritual mentor or a coach these days, it's absolutely not true. You're just in your bubble where everyone is doing that, but it's such a little amount of people actually. And if you feel called to step into this role, then this role is for you, and you are one of the small amount of people who are the pioneers of this entire movement to break free. And I really want to remind you of that. Think of what could happen. So whenever you're in doubt, whenever you're doubting yourself, whenever you're doubting your content, whenever you're doubting if you're even want to start, if you're listening to this and you're just thinking about starting a business or thinking about stepping into your mission, whatever that means for you personally, visualize what could happen. And also think about how it's not possible if you're not taking action. Do you really want to not use that opportunity if your heart is calling you to do that? That's what I want you to take away from today. Think of what could happen whenever you're doubting anything that you do. Think of what could happen if you're moving through that bump, if you're moving through that self-doubt. What is the vision? What is your why? Why are you doing all this? And is it worth being thrown away because you're not feeling good enough today? That being said, I hope this episode inspired you to really step into your power more. And if you ever want to say hi, you can message me on Instagram. It's @IsabelGloria. It's linked in the show notes as well. And I would love to chat about your vision, about your goals. I want to throw in here that a new round of the Cosmic Wonders mentorship is starting in November. So the applications are not open yet, but even before that, you can message me if you are interested in joining for this upcoming round. I would be really, really happy to have you on board before applications even roll out. It's like a special announcement to the podcast listeners. So definitely reach out if you want more information and if you feel called to work with me, and we will figure out if the Cosmic Wonders mentorship is exactly what you need to step into your mission, to start your business, to create a more powerful business, whatever it is that I can help you with and that you need guidance with right now. And yeah, let me know. Let's chat. Come say hi on Instagram. And other than that, bye bye until next Sunday for a brand new episode of Rooted in the Cosmos. Have a beautiful day.